Breaking down Estacado sports. This is the Matador Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It's Monday night. It's 6 p.m. and you are on 100.7 The Score, so that means you are entering the high school fan zone. I'm Randy Rosetta. As we are every Monday night during the fall, we are here to talk Estacado, Memorial, and Liberty. All three football coaches are here this week, so we're going to focus on football. We did a little volleyball last week, but we're going to get down to football because we're getting to the midway point of the season, which means district play is getting pretty close for everybody. District 2-5A Division 2 starts this week, as does the Class 5A Division 1. So we're getting closer. Eric Ward just sat down and joined us. How you going? How's it going, Eric?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
You are, imagine that you're in a pretty good frame of mind after going down the road and getting a win at Sweetwater.
Oh, man, I think our kids, played team ball and they went out there and they got it done. But I have short-term memory.
It's got to.
Yes, sir.
Well, we'll talk a little bit more about that. This is the Matador Fan Zone. Eric Ward, of course, is the second-year coach of the Estacado football program. As I mentioned, Matadors went to Sweetwater and got the win. I'm going to call it the scores list. We're going to run through that real quick like we do every Monday. Estacado beat. We're going to have to discuss that. Some people say 44-21. Some people say 46-21. Eric said they just didn't put 2 points up on the board.
It was a 2-point differential. It was 46-21.
They just refused to put your points up there? Or?
I mean, we reminded them, but, at the end of the day, we just...
You had more than them. That's all.
Yes, sir.
Here we go. Elsewhere around Lubbock and West Texas, Lubbock Cooper, in an incredible game, beat Friendship 57-56 in overtime. Abilene Cooper beat Coronado 59-0. Lubbock High lost a heartbreaker 50-49 to San Angelo Lakeview. Monterey got back on the winning track, beat Odessa High 49-21. Hold on here. Let's see, I mentioned the Matadors got a win down in Sweetwater. Liberty rolled past Seminole 63-27. Trinity Christian got their second shutout in a row. They beat Floydada 33-0. Lubbock Christian suffered their first loss of the season to a really good Wellington team, 44-22. Plainview lost to Dumas 43-35, and Levelland whitewashed Brownfield 50-0. And I think the others, the six-man game, Kingdom Prep went on the road and lost to Abilene Christian 52-32. A lot of football last week, a lot of football coming up this week. We'll talk more about that schedule in a minute, but I want to get Eric to talk about his team some more because, like you said last week, I think, you didn't make the schedule. Will left that behind for you. So
yes, sir.
You play who you line up to play, but if there's a 4A team in the state that's played a more challenging first 4 weeks, I don't know who it is, and you guys have gotten through it so far 2-2.
Yes, sir. I look at it as all great opportunities to get better. I think they're all great tests to see where we are as a team, and I'm just proud of my boys for sticking it out and playing great team ball.
And it doesn't get a whole lot easier this week. Thursday night at home against Randall, that I think is 4-0, coming off of a state semifinal.
Yes, sir.
Yep. So, and that's for years and years. That was kind of a fun and entertaining game at Estacado Randall. Not necessarily a rivalry because you got two different towns, but you guys, like you said, you got to turn that page a little bit quicker than normal because you got a little bit shorter week.
Yes, sir, absolutely. Great football team, well coached. Credit to their coaches, but our job as coaches is get our boys prepared, and it starts in practice. Having a great week of practice and going out there and just playing fast.
What did last week do in terms of confidence for you guys? It was J-Rick's first start, correct?
Yes, sir.
So I know he played a bunch the week before, but his first start. To me, that's important because guys start to get comfortable with him. Mm-hmm. Offensive linemen get used to his voice inflection, his cadence. Receivers get used to him. How important was it for him to get out there as a starter and kind of start to get used to everybody?
I believe it was very essential for him and for the boys to kind of rally behind him and just push forward together as a team. But we have a lot of football left to play, and it's just one week down. Next week it's like a crash course every week. So we try to keep the focus on the day and the focus on us, and see what we need to do as a team to get better. And that's what we try to strive for each day.
Were his eyes a little bit smaller this week?
Yes, sir.
To him?
Again, it's a great opportunity for him to go out there and just to play football and do his part for the team. I
loved your story the week before at the coaches' luncheon where you said it's time to go in, and his eyes got big.
Yeah.
Went out there, he came to the sideline, said something, his eyes got big.
Yes, sir.
Hey, when you haven't been out there before, say this to guys all the time. There's a little bit of difference between 8th grade football, freshman football, and all of a sudden you're out there with big boys.
Yes, sir. He's a 15-year-old boy, so he's going to be playing against guys a lot older than him, and so growing up fast it's kind of a sense of baptism by fire.
Well, and he's fared well. His baptism has gone well. It went well last week. I think you sent me the stats: 10 for 18 for 149 yards, 3 touchdown passes.
Yes, sir.
And the thing about because you've got guys around him, he's a freshman quarterback, you don't have to put everything on his shoulders. You can just go out there and be 15-year-old and be athletic and talented and just help you guys do your thing.
Yes, sir. You want to put a quarterback in a situation to where they don't have to go out there and just set the world on fire. They can just manage a game for you.
Did you ever play quarterback, or were you strictly always receiver?
Randy, I probably played every position. I played a little quarterback, but I played wherever the team needed me.
I know you were a great receiver, came up to Texas Tech, but how were you as a quarterback back in your young days?
I was more of, I would say, I wasn't an avid passer, but in the same sentence, I think I was more of a quarterback that when they needed a change of speed, they put me in.
Like catching the ball better than throwing it?
Absolutely.
Well, you were pretty good at it, like we talked
Thank
about.
you.
Coming up on the first break, we'll be back in the Matador Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
Diving headfirst into Estacado athletics. You're listening to the Matador Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back into the High School Fan Zone on a Monday night. Let me run through the weekly schedule that we are following now through Thanksgiving. Monday nights are Estacado, Memorial, and Liberty. We're here from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Tuesday nights are Monterey and Coronado, 6 to 7 p.m. Wednesday nights will be Lubbock High, Friendship, and Lubbock Cooper, again 6 to 7:30 p.m. On Friday nights from 6 to 6:30 p.m., you can hear the West Texas Friday Night Preview Show on Double T 97.3 and right here on 100.7 The Score. And then those same two stations will carry the West Texas Friday Night Scoreboard Show from 9:30 to midnight, although I bet they were a little bit late this last week because that Friendship Lubbock Cooper game took a while to finish up, then went to overtime. Lubbock Cooper made sure it didn't go more overtimes. They scored on a 2-point conversion. Archive shows can be found on the High School Fan Zone page at doubleTSportsNetwork.com, and make sure you download the 100.7 The Score mobile app to listen live or listen to podcasts of all 8 High School Fan Zone shows. We're on number 1 of the week. We're talking Estacado football with second-year coach Eric Ward after the Matadors went down to Sweetwater, walked into that historical old stadium and won 46-21. Did you say you'd coached there before?
I have, yes, sir. I coached there when I coached for Hershey High School.
Had you ever played there as a good player?
I don't believe I ever played there.
Because that's one of those stadiums in Texas that just oozes history when you walk in. You can tell they've had some pretty good football teams through the years there. And you still walk down through the crowd, or do you come down? You come down the ramp now, don't you?
You come down the ramp, but I think they on the home side walk through the crowd.
It's just old school as heck. And
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Bet they don't ever get rid of it. I bet they play there until the end of times.
Yes, sir. I think it's awesome.
That. So Estacado, you guys have had big offensive nights. This wasn't necessarily as big an offensive night because you got some plays from your defense as well. Donovan Torres did a little bit of everything, and that's no surprise if you've watched Estacado. That young man has a knack for making plays when you guys need him.
He does. He's a football playing kid, and what I mean by that is he has a high IQ when it comes to football and playmaking ability, and he just has a knack for it.
You combine that with number 1 Cedric Ross, who is just, again, putting up video game numbers every week. This week, 11 carries, 202 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns on the ground, I think, and then 3 catches for 52 yards, 2 more touchdowns. he's got to give defensive coordinators nightmares when they're getting ready for you. You can try to scheme for him, but he's not only blazing fast. He seems to have, as years have gone by, he's figured out kind of where to find holes maybe that aren't there right away.
Yeah, he told me one of his favorite players was Tavon Austin.
Okay,
and so that can tell you a lot about who he models after. But I think his just ability to make plays is special. He's a special young man. Personality is great. He's a great leader and a great teammate. And so having all that in a nutshell, it just screams leadership.
And just watching video of you guys now, I haven't seen you play yet. Thursday night I'm going to try to get out there. Mm-hmm. If not, I know I'll be there soon because you guys have 3 home games in the next 4. Watching him just on video, you can also see kids get older, they get more mature. Mm-hmm. He handles things better.
Yes.
His first couple of years, he struggled if things didn't go the way that you guys wanted. He kind of wear it on his emotions on his sleeve. Now he's got a little bit more of a poker face.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things we worked on. And I think he's really taken initiative to grow from it and grow beyond the expectations of what people think that, like wearing his emotions on his sleeves. He's a definite leader now, and that's one thing I can really say and go out on a whim and say, like, I'm proud of how he's leading and the influence that he has on the team.
It's why one of the reasons I love what I do is watching young people evolve like that year by year. You see different things, and then they get to that last year and they realize I've got to be a leader. I've got to be more mature. And I'm glad you said that because I thought that was probably the case. Mm-hmm. And watching him and also seeing some stuff on social media, he talks about team a lot, and he's always praising Big V. Which,
yes, sir.
When you got a lineman like that, you got linemen up like that in front of you. It's a smart move.
Keep them happy.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Feed those guys, pat them on the back. We talked about this before. You glad you don't have to? Well, you've got 5 boys out. Uh-huh. Your grocery bill may be about the same as Big V's at home, just with 5 different guys eating on it.
Well, I would say you're probably right. My boys love to eat, but I think we do a good job of eating together as a team. And so boys in general like to eat, especially teenage boys.
I was there once.
Yeah.
I didn't. I'm a few years older than you. My body was built by different things. Probably not as good a thing. So, 46-21 was a final. Estacado improved to 2-2. They are at home Thursday, 7 p.m. at Lowry Field against Randall. One more segment of the Matador Fan Zone coming up after the break on 100.7 The Score.
Your inside look into Estacado sports. This is the Matador Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back. You are in the Matador Fan Zone on a Monday night on 100.7 The Score. We talked a little bit about Estacado's game against Sweetwater. We'll jump in and talk about Randall, but we got to cut a little bit short because I want Eric to kind of talk about this being Fair Week. If you're an Estacado fan and you know who Lewis Kelly was, you know that Fair Week meant that he always told the McQuesta Taylor story. And I told Eric he's got to find an old-time Estacado fan or coach or parent to tell him the whole story. Nobody could tell it like Lewis. Nobody. But it's kind of a legend that is attached to Estacado. So, and this dude's going to be here a long time, so he's going to have to know some of these things. So Randall is 4-0. They beat Plainview. They beat Monahans. They beat Perryton, who is a team you'll see, 28-21. That was a pretty decent game against Perryton. And then beat Wichita Falls Legacy, which has been a little bit up and down this season. So they've got a decent resume. What have you looked at on video about them that makes that they jumps out off the screen at you?
Very sound defense. You can tell that they have a lot of seniority on their defense, maturity. They're bend but don't break. Obviously, they don't give up too many points. They're very sound in the back end and very sound in the front end. Offensively, they have big playmaking ability. They have downhill runners, and they like to run the ball, but they're not scared. They're not afraid to throw it too. They have an explosive receiver, number 13. He's pretty shifty, pretty dynamic, and
I believe that's the coach's son.
Wow, he's pretty good. Yes, sir.
Coaching your own son, I believe that's his son. So
okay, he's a shifty wide receiver. Sometimes they put him in the backfield and kind of run plays out of their backfield formations with them. But overall, they're a sound football team and discipline.
You mentioned offensively, they seem to be pretty balanced. They've thrown for 782, run for 738. So your defense has to kind of, or they play basic, but you have to kind of have their head on the swivel. Mm-hmm. And one thing about you guys, though, defensively, I thought you got better as the season went on last year. You guys' speed could make it. It's almost like a shot blocker in basketball. You might be misaligned or miss a play, but your guys' speed helps you kind of compensate a little bit.
Yes, sir. I agree with that. It's just, allowing the players to play fast and keeping it simple for them.
Which, we'll go back to Donovan Torres, because the game against Sweetwater, you had a 72-yard fumble return for a touchdown that sort of got you guys headed in the right direction. Turnovers are going to be big once you get into district play, because that's how games kind of get turned around. Mm-hmm. If you're not playing great, that can motivate both sides of the ball. Joshua, I remember him talking about last year when he came on once, that you guys wanted to be kind of that ball hawking defense. Are you starting to see that more this year?
Yes. It's one of them things where you have to harp on it, practice, reinforce, and go out there and just show it. That's one of our emphasis every day in practice, just to get 1% better, fly to the ball, go as fast as you can from point A to point B for 4 to 6 seconds each play, and play with intensity. Toughness, intensity, and physicality all go hand in hand when you're playing defense.
Watching Oklahoma-Auburn this last week, I heard them saying, I think they got to the end of the game, Oklahoma's not forced a turnover yet, and they've got a really good defense, and they're 4-0, so that's not the only thing, but it sure didn't hurt in football if you can take the ball away and give yourself extra plays, extra possessions. Yeah,
and that goes along with playing complementary football and being great in all three phases, not just offensive, defense, special teams as well.
You guys, your impact in special teams has come, especially in the return games. I think you've got already 3 return touchdowns, and then Donovan returned a fumble the other day. That's like found money. I mean, that's like finding a $20 buck or $20 bill on the ground and eating an extra lunch.
Yes, sir. Just emphasizing all 3 phases, and just going out there and trying to execute at a high level each opportunity you get.
Estacado's 2-2. They play Randall Thursday night at Lowry Field, 7 p.m. That is down the radio dial, but Nick Long will be there to call the action. We're starting to ease up on that break, so McQuesta Taylor. And Eric, I know I've told you a couple times, years ago when the fair was in town like it is this week, Lewis Kelly claims that McQuesta was having a good game, came in at halftime, and went back out, and McQuesta wasn't anywhere to be found. So for the rest of his career, the rest of his days on earth, Lewis Kelly made a point of looking for McQuesta. He claims he saw him a couple times. Mm-hmm. But McQuesta, if you're out there listening to radio, Eric Ward wants to meet you. He wants to know what the secret was of not coming back, because you want your guys to stay around. You don't want them leaving for the fair.
Oh, not at all. Did he go to the fair at halftime?
That's the urban legend. So that's going to wrap us up in the Matador Fan Zone. I'm Randy Rosetta. We'll be back after the break on 100.7 The Score.